Alright, so people are asking for videos of my whole tank setup. This is where everything sits currently. This is with full lighting on, so all 6 bulbs in the ATI as well as the reef bright are all on. So you don't see as much of the pop of the corals. For instance, that acan colony right there, you can see some of the colors because the reef bright hits it a little bit, but it really pops. Once all the whites kind of go down and it's more blues. And little mandarin's hiding back there. Can't leave him out of the video. Yeah, so basically what I have in this tank, I have you can see the Jabo PP4s in the back there, the waves on each end, and obviously forgive some of the ulva and bubble algae. The tank's still kind of being cleaned some. Been vibrant dosing, which has taken everything down, as well as a couple other things. In terms of most of the stuff, it stays in basically this cabinet that I have next to it. Pretty much everything that I could need for the tank is all down here, and obviously there's a CO2 bottle. My calcium reactor is still offline at this point. Taking it to the other side of the tank, this is where my life support all is. I have pods and Phyto being brewed at the top there, and then my ATO is on the outside of my stand. You can see those 2 orange lines going out. That's my auto water change, and I'll hit that in a second. But basically the DOS pumps water out into a drain that's on the other side of this closet, and my 75-gallon drum's over there as well. Getting down into the life support. So things are still a little bit messy here. Taking the calcium reactor offline and stuff, maybe move some things around. Anyway, those are the 2 drains. You can see that I do actually run a valve on both, which I find extremely beneficial considering I've already swapped out sumps once. Not that it's a big deal to have to drain your overflow, but I like to be able to kill flow as needed. It's also a nice way to test, if I kill the main drain, the one with just the ball valve is the emergency. If I kill the main drain totally, it just lets me check to make sure the emergency is functioning okay. I do that once every now and then. Not sure why my sock holders popped up, but I run mesh socks just to kind of get the bulk of stuff. You can see I still have to clean my sump. I haven't done it. It's at its 6-month cleanup time, so I have to get in there and get that done. Life Reef skimmer. Enough said about that. Probably, best skimmer I've ever had by far. Refugium light. I do run the Tau Electronics, the LED Refugium light. Hard to see in there, but you can see the Chato spinning. I have another PP4 in there. That keeps that ball going. I have some other macro and stuff in there as well. Finally, you can see the sensor valves for my ATO, the tunes, the SP6, and that comes up and feeds both the return as well as this manifold, which allows me to have 3 different things running off of it. Right now I only use 1. I was using 2, running 2 different reactors, but I just basically run a single reactor at this point. Right now it's just just charcoal, because again I'm dosing vibrant, so I'm not running GFO in there right now, but it is what it is. You can see my kind of wire channels that I have all the way. They run pretty much the entire length. That lets me have just the wires going just vertical, and then they're completely concealed and safe, I guess you could say, at the top there. But yeah, so that's the sump. In the back there you can see my the auto water change DOS. It's off at this moment. And then finally on this side, this is kind of all the plugs and everything that runs for the calcium reactor and that one Jabo that's in the sump, as well as my pH controller. This is my calcium reactor. Again, it's offline right now. I just got back in my solenoid for my regulator, and I'm still waiting on Spectra Pure to answer me about my pump. I sent my pump back to them. They have a new ultimate control auto water change pump that has basically the ability to go from 9 millimeters an hour up to like 600, 900 millimeters or milliliters an hour. Milliliters, not millimeters. So I'm waiting for that to get back as well. But yeah, so that's my calcium reactor. My Juby Tuska's out. Gotta get him on video. So you can see some of the things on here. I guess let's get into the lighting in the top. So I run dual lock line. I actually run 3/4 inch. I totally swapped mine out. And just gonna get a break for a second. Up in here, I have my lunar LEDs. So I run a lunar module from Neptune. You can see my Reef Bright 48-inch strip there, the XHO. That is full, just the blue. And then the nice thing that I like about this setup, these are all Velcroed on. So if I just pop the two at the ends off here, just rest them on the sill, it allows me to pull my entire lighting unit out. And this then gets into all my different bulbs. I can do all my swap outs here. You can see that it sits ever so lower. This would have to put this twists and pushes up. The second that pushes up, basically I can slide my splash guard out without even having to take the light out of the, off its resting point here. I don't really care lifting it up a little bit to swap out the light bulbs. It makes it a little bit faster just to lift it up a little bit, but it is what it is. That's pretty much it for the tank. I'll let you guys watch this as I pop this stuff back on. And then the only other thing, some people were asking about the overflow cover. And sorry for toggling the video around. I'm kind of one-man show here. So there's my overflow cover. I just changed the water. Actually put a little too much in. I was trying to get rid of some of the water I had mixed up. I didn't drain enough. So I'm actually going to lower the water level just a little bit by just actually draining, not messing with my valves because it's stable. But I do need to take probably about 2 to 3 gallons out of the tank. But that's easily done. And I guess the only other thing to show then would be the water change station. So this is where all the RODI gets made, down in the bottom bin there. I can pump it up into the top bin here. I mix water in there as well as just leave it. RODI depends upon what I'm doing that week. Like yesterday I did a big water change, so I actually mixed RODI in there. That has a heater as well as another pump that's inside it. So that allows me just to quickly mix anything I want on there. You can see the hosing. That goes out to the tank. I can pump water out to the tank without having to move anything here. As well as if I connect it to the front one there where the RODI is on, I can actually drain from the tank. I don't really need to, I just siphon out, but I can if I want. And then finally, that's the big boy over there. 75-gallon drum. It has a Iwaki panel pumping onto it. That's where I keep most of my salt water that I need. That gets mixed in there, keeps it all good to go. So that's pretty much the walkthrough. Let me know if you guys have any questions.